All right, folks, let's get right to it with our panel. Talk about the issues of the day. We have, of course, Tiffany Lofton on the far left end. Tiffany, of course, education labor union organizer. We also have Gianna Caldwell, Republican strategist at Caldwell Strategic Consulting. Dr. Avis Jones-DeWeaver, leadership strategist, author of Exceptional Black Women Lead. Also, Monique Presley, legal analyst and attorney of the Presley firm. I want to get to healthcare and Trump in a minute. I want to start, though, with this comment by DeVos. Gianna, what the hell is this statement? What the hell is this? Lack of access? No, that's not why HBCUs were created. This is the Secretary of Education. Has she ever seen a history book?
Well, as we see, what the Trump administration is doing is a really well-intentioned effort.
No, that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. I asked you specifically about the statement of the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos.
I'm not going to get on this air and try to defend the statement.
No, I didn't ask you to defend it.
Yeah.
I asked you your thoughts about it.
Well, I think it's a well-intentioned statement. Those are my thoughts.
It's a well-intentioned statement?
Absolutely.
Is it factually correct?
I would say it's a well-intentioned statement.
Is it factually correct, yes or no?
And I would also say that there was a lack of access. That's true. What you also mentioned is true.
Bro, really? As a black man from Chicago, you really trying to that little silly spin?
Come on now.
Don't tell me, bro, if the Secretary of Education cannot acknowledge that the fact of the reason we have HBCUs is because of flat-out segregation, white supremacy, discrimination in America.
Again, what she said was correct. There was a lack of access.
Tiffany.
That is true.
Tiffany.
Regardless of the wording of this, she has a long way to go to be on the right side of history when it comes to talking about black folks and education in this country. For even her nomination, from even her answers to the questions that Senator Elizabeth Warren asked her, she has not done anything right thus far. And so her agenda moving forward, like Gianna said, needs to be one, well-intentioned, but two, needs to be action-driven. There's no action behind what she is saying, and there's just a statement that has happened so far that has said, oh, I care about black folks during Black History Month. And so if we're going to talk about higher education, it's not just about HBCUs. What is her agenda for public education, for student debt across this country, which we still have not solved at all, and what is her power in Congress?
Monique, you are a lawyer. Plessy versus Ferguson, 1896, was decided by the Supreme Court. Okay, this little cute statement, fine, but at least have the guts to acknowledge factual information about why HBCUs were created. We have historically black colleges and universities because historically white colleges and universities would not accept black kids.
Right, but we have no reason to expect that she's going to do anything other than gloss over the real facts of history, and she's not alone in that. To me, this is just another example of the tone-deaf nature of this administration, the flat-out ignorance in terms of not just African-American history, but the history of this country. And I'm not surprised that the statement came out the way that it did.
Avis, your comment on this again. Absence of opportunity. They took it upon themselves to provide the solution. They did not have equal access to education.
That is revisionist history 101. And like Monique said, this is not, unfortunately, it's not unique. We are seeing school systems across the country purchase history books that basically whitewash our history, that don't even mention the African experience in terms of
indentured
servants. Exactly. And so this is just another example of the sort of whitewashing of history by this country that seeks to sort of put aside its very, very disastrous past as a way to claim that they've always been sort of this beacon of open opportunity, and it's not true, and it's dangerous, and everyone actually is negatively impacted because of it, because the country itself becomes more ignorant when we don't tell the truth about our history.
Just don't lie.
Yeah.
Don't be
that's
cute.
Not a lie. Equal access is the buzzword for those cases, for the stream of cases that enabled us to have schools that became integrated. So she's just snatching out the word and basically saying we had no help, so we helped ourselves.
Well, she's snatching that word out, but she's also trying to advance the idea of school choice by saying, oh, they created school choice. Stop it. It's ridiculous. All right, let's get to health care. Yesterday, President Donald Trump talked about health care from the Oval Office, and he said, oh, my God, this thing is hard. Press play.
To repeal and replace Obamacare and get states the flexibility that they need to make the end result really, really good for them. Very complicated. issue. It's an unbelievably complex subject. Nobody knew that health care could be so complicated.
Nobody knows.
I'm sorry, Gianno. We've had how many previous presidents tried to get health care law passed before President Obama did? Nobody knew it was hard.
Well, President Obama surely didn't think it was hard because he estimated that $858 million over 10 years would be what it would cost, and it's going to cost about $2 trillion.
Gianno, let me ask again.
Of course,
Gianno,
you're right.
Gianno, is it possible today? Is it possible today at 7:21 on this show on February 28th, the last day of Black History Month, you can actually answer my question?
I'm answering the question.
No, Gianno. He just said no one knew it was this hard. How many previous presidents in the United States tried to pass a health care law? It was more than 50 years. As a matter of fact, we could go back 100 plus years. That means it was kind of hard. So yeah, people knew it was hard. In fact, we debated for 14 months with President Obama, the first 14 months over health care. It was hard.
Exactly, and President Obama sees the ramifications of how hard it was because the law isn't working.
Right, no. So here's a president in President Obama who got something done, and it's an example in terms of his own legacy that's going to just get better with time, because when you make a systemic change for the better for people, you have town halls where people are talking about how they don't want their health care changed. When you make a systemic change for the better, you can't just come in as the next president and rip it out, and that's what they're finding out right now.
Did President Obama lie about Obamacare? Did he not say that you can keep your own doctor? That was a lie, was it not?
What he said was,
is that an alternative fact?
Some people actually did get to keep their own doctors.
Some people, he said everyone.
What you really have to do is stop taking the whole of what Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, did and try to say that because a fraction of the people in our country, yes, and by fraction I mean a small percentage compared to the whole. If you look at 80% of the people who actually get their health care from their employer, and then you look at the rest of the percentage of people who get it from government programs that stayed in place, and then you have a much smaller amount who get it off of the exchanges, and those are the people that we're arguing about, and those are the people who are in the town halls right now. People like me whose child is on special needs and would not have insurance because of a pre-existing condition. So when you sit here and tell me that it does not work, I can look at you and say you are lying because I'm the evidence of the fact that it works. And I'm not a small number of people. There are 4 million children just on the autism spectrum alone. Is 4 million a small number? Cancer, heart disease, liver disease. These are all people who would have died and are standing up now and saying, because of this program, people have to give me insurance, so I can't go to a hospital and them refuse to treat me. That's not just one. Let's talk about another one. The young people who actually still get insurance.
So no
we
matter
think it's going to stay. We don't know. We don't know because after 6 years of complaining, we still don't have a plan.
Hold on, I need to get you. I need to get you a life wrap, Gianno.
Do you have a plan? Do you have the plan? Because you're saying things are going to stay.
But this has been the pillar of the conversation. This has continued to be the pillar of the conversation.
And all we're having is a conversation while other people actually have insurance.
Okay, make your point, then I'm going to Ava Tiffany.
So being able to get insurance for pre-existing conditions has been the pillar of every Republican conversation. That isn't something new since they've been talking about repealing and replacing.
I'm sorry, the Republican conversation or the Republican plan we have yet to see in 9 years?
Or the Obama plan, which is costing us
hold on. You just said Gianno, you just said the Republican conversation. Right. Where is, please, the Republican plan? It's been 9 years. I'm still waiting. Where is it?
And that's great because we're
Where
at
is
the
the plan?
beginning of an administration and they're working.
Wait, hold up. I'm sorry. You've had 50 repeal votes. I have yet to see a plan from the GOP.
And as
Where
we know,
is it?
And as we know, and as President Obama know, healthcare is complex.
Tiffany.
No, and that's why they're
That's
taking
the
their time to
evidence now. They're eating their
draft
words
the
now, Roland.
appropriate
Now they're all eating their
measure
words because
to
before
replace
everybody-
it.
One second, Tiffany.
Now they're all eating their words because a couple of months ago when we were talking in October and November, everybody was super upset and saying the first thing we're going to do is repeal the Affordable Care Act.
Repeal
and replace. That was the law of the land. We're going to make this law and order, repeal and replace. This is his first agenda item. Now, because he can't do it in one day and assign an EO and say, this is what I want to do, take a picture and put it on the news, he's saying, oh, it's a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. And I am expecting that his voters, the people who voted him in office, are one, going to suffer from this act that's going to happen. Two, are going to see, okay, maybe it's not as easy as we thought it was, but this is also something we should give President Obama credit for because he did a fantastic job considering the circumstances.
It's costing us a lot of money.
It's costing a lot of money,
And
and
then
folks
there
are
was so
losing
many
health
lives
care.
involved.
And so when we talk about the future agenda, Roland,
even keep
if
it-
he's going to continue to do this,
keep it real?
it's gonna-
Roland?
No,
Can you keep it real?
Yeah, let's keep
Avis?
it all.
I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real like a Chicago house
It's
party.
harder, Roland.
Go ahead, Avis. Avis, go ahead. Gianno,
Let's keep
Avis
it
is
all the
talking.
way real. If we were to have what the Republicans wanted to have, those people you mentioned would be dead today. Let's keep it all the way real because you had every opportunity in the world to pass health care before President Obama came into office, and you didn't do it. And every time, and when he did push this through, you did everything, not you personally, obviously, but Republicans did everything humanly possible to stop it in its tracks. And all the time you had, I think it was closer to 60 votes to repeal it. They had 9 years to work on replacement. They lied every time they said we're going to repeal and replace because if they actually had a plan to replace, we would have seen it by now.
No, you got a new president in the White House.
And then he could have gotten it on day one if they had it ready. If they had it ready, when he was signing all those other executive orders, when he has both houses of Congress, they had 9 years to work on a plan. If they really had a plan together, they could have pushed through a bill immediately and he could have signed it immediately.
But
they lied to the American people. They don't have a bill. They didn't have a bill, and they don't have one now.
Hold up, Gianno. Now we're hearing, man, we're not gonna have anything till 2018. Do what? You had 9 years. You had 9 years. I mean, you need 2 more.
So we just got a health secretary confirmed who is going to be
Who was a member? Hold up.
Yes,
who was
he
a
was.
member of Congress
Absolutely.
who supposedly had a plan.
So Roland, what did you say? You said that President Obama entered office and for 18 months they were trying to get health care figured out.
No,
Is that
actually,
right?
no, that's not
Is that
actually.
what you
If you're gonna quote me,
Okay.
quote me correctly.
Okay.
What I first said was that we had more than 50 years, multiple presidents who
Right.
tried to get a health care law passed, could not do it.
Correct.
For the first 14 months of President Barack Obama's tenure, we debated the issue of health care. A plan was actually presented. A plan was worked on. You had compromise.
How long did it
1
take?
second you had concessions, and it took 14 months. What I'm trying to say is this here, but we had the Republicans who took more than 50 votes to repeal and replace it. They kept saying, we have a plan. We have a plan. We know what it works.
And there's a number of plans in
They kept
Congress
saying,
right
well,
now.
where is it?
Roland,
I'm still waiting.
A number.
Roland, did they ever say that they had a plan, or they said they didn't like the plan we have now?
Well, no,
I don't
no,
really think
They said we had a
because
plan.
we never saw it.
They
Well,
had
and there was no
multiple
person-
plans.
Well,
They
that's sort of like
work now.
that was like somebody who say I can cook until they got to go in the kitchen.
But they had multiple
Okay, hold
plans that will not work now.
tight 1 second. I got to ask y'all this here. So, Avis, I'll start with you. President Trump goes before a joint session of Congress today. What do you expect for him to say?
I don't think that man could hold to a script if his life depended on it. He's going to attempt to get through, obviously, a pre-prepared speech, but I will just I think we should have some sort of drinking game around how many times he's going to wander off script and put his foot in his mouth. That's exactly what I'm expecting to happen.
Tiffany?
I think there's going to be a lot of divide and conquer in this speech that's going to happen. I don't know what Congress's interests are right now. This is too early in the game. But to talk about the HBCUs, to talk about the Muslim ban, to talk about the wall, to talk about affordable health care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think are all going to be divided issues where he is playing folks against each other. He's not going to have a plan, I think, on anything that's going to be newly presented because his executive orders have all been signed. I don't expect grammatical corrections. I expect him not to be cohesive. I expect it to be confusing, not complete sentences, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not looking forward to it, but I think it's important for everyone to take it seriously and watch it because this is our current president.
Gianno?
I expect him to talk about Chicago. I expect him to talk about HBCUs. I expect him to talk about, as the only president that we've seen run for president with a black agenda, I expect him to get into the...
Whoa! Who ran for president with a black agenda?
Donald Trump. You didn't hear the urban renewal plan? You didn't hear about that? The New Deal?
Are you outside your mind?
About the New Deal?
Are you outside your mind?
You didn't hear about that?
Hell to the no, I didn't hear it.
Hear about that?
Bruh.
The black agenda?
I asked more than 50 black Republicans. More than 50. Where's the plan?
I can tell you what's on it. You want to hear from me?
You want to? Monique, go with your comment about tonight.
I know what's on it.
This boy lost his mind.
Come on, Doc.
Yes.
You can't even keep it real.
Gianno, let me go down the line.
Yeah.
Elroy Saylor, Pastor Darrell Scott, Omarosa.
But I can tell you what's on it.
Gianno.
$1 trillion infrastructure funding largely beneficial to the African American community.
Really?
That's what he wants.
Really?
HBCU.
Really? I'm sorry. First of all, hold on one second.
You want to talk about it? We can talk about the plan.
Gianno, there is no plan, Gianno. There is no plan. Gianno, what you're touting as a plan was a press release. Wasn't a plan. I sit on this show Gianno. I sit on this show 5 days a week. I had Republican operatives. I had folks from the campaign. Not a single black person supporting Trump could come on this show with a plan. Would you like for me to show you the clips from Cleveland where I talked to black Republican after black Republican after black Republican after black Republican, and I'm still, you know what? The plan that y'all had as a black agenda is the same for that health care bill I'm waiting on. Monique, what's your comment?
Yes, it will be stream of consciousness, and his stump speech to his base just given in a new location. That's what they believe works consistently for him, and I don't think he can stray from it.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.